Alright, JD Delay. This is a reaction video. You were asking for feedback on your thing. You made this thing about Epstein. I thought I'll just make this guy a reaction video. Okay, one, bothers me. You keep saying these people are such powerful people. Oh, they're such powerful people. They're not powerful. God is all powerful, almighty, God all powerful. Just because people have money doesn't make them powerful. The fruits of a tree, a good fruit and an evil fruit is from a good, good fruit comes from a good tree, evil fruit comes from an evil tree. But the fruits of goodness, are like righteousness, self-control, self-restraint, mercy, things like that, patience, you know what I mean? These people don't really have that. Okay, they're acting like Satan. They can't even step on Satan's snake fucking demon head and say, no, motherfucker, you're not gonna get inside of my fucking head and make me act like you, ass fuck. Alright? I am playing pizza dick ass fuck. Alright, so Satan's a fucking loser, psychopath, lunatic, okay? Look at John Podesta. Look at Anthony Fauci. Look at Ed Buck. Look at fake John of God, Oprah's buddy. Look at all these fucking murderers and serial killers and fucking animal torturers and the people in the NIH and the UN and the fake climate change. They're all Satan. It's all Satan. Those are Satan's idiots. They're fucking retards. Okay? You said something about that baby picture. Well, I heard something that was from 4chan, and I think it might have gotten taken up. I don't know, because I don't really go on there, but it was put on YouTube, and it was just text. But it was pretty interesting, and it was somebody who said they used to work for Epstein, and they used to do things for him, and then they left. He recommended them to some other actor's family, and he did some things for them. And then he went and worked overseas in the Alps somewhere and did some things there and then came back. But he was talking about those masks that you showed pictures of. He was talking about the masks on Epstein Island. And he said that when they all put on the mask, they act like a bunch of total lunatics and they go do horrible things. And he said that he was having a conversation with this guy that was cooking something in that kitchen that you said with the baby picture, and you suspected they were cutting up babies and stuff. That's what I suspect too, because the guy said that when he walked up to another guy, he was cutting up a very small corpse, and he said, "Oh, what is that?" And he said, it's a rabbit." And he said, "Oh, that it kind of looks like a person." And the guy said, "Watch it," and that's it. And he said they're real weird, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I would think so. Jesus sent a message that Satan used to practice that murder, torture, adrenochrome thing. Well, that's what I heard was going on there too. And again, these things that come out, yeah, this shit's been out. This shit's been out since at least 2017. I mean, I was looking at the police walkthrough footage back then. I saw that dental chair that I saw. There's drains in the floor in the middle of the bathroom, like for blood, you would think. There's a weird torture chair. It reminded me of the movie American Psycho. American Psycho seems to be about these people's pays. I heard there was an island that FBI and ICE might have raided or something recently, and there was billionaires taken out that they were doing human hunting on another island. God said there was another island, and there might be more than one. I know that Naomi Campbell, when I was researching other islands, her name was brought up. There's another island associated with her, and it's not, you know how it's Greater St. James and Little St. James with Epstein, because he had two islands, and he was working on the other one, I guess, trying to prepare it to be murder, psycho, lunatic, fucking retard island too. Well, I think Naomi Campbell has some association with another island. I don't know if she owns it or what, but I remember when I was researching it, I remember some of the information. I skimmed over this stuff. Anything else? The drone footage I saw also many years ago. Somebody flew a drone over and was looking outside of the house, and there's piles of dirty mattresses in, like, he has like a small trash mountain there. To me, I mean, I saw out near Pittsburgh and Moon Run, there was some dirty, sleazy hotel where there was heroin dealers at the gas station, there was human traffickers, there was little kids, there was nasty people going in and out of there. I stayed there for a few days a few years ago, and I noticed on my on the thing how you could put on Wi-Fi, there was Awan, and I was thinking of Imran Awan, because while I was researching Epstein, they were talking about Imran Awan was the new Epstein at that point. Whatever the fuck that means, but I saw the name Awan. Another guy, I'm in Levittown, Pennsylvania, a guy with the last name Awan just killed his wife here a few weeks ago. Interesting. Fucking terrorists and whack jobs. Satanists, that's the problem. Yes, it is satanic rituals. They're fucking serial killers. They're nutty. That's why I said you gotta get them out of the sciences and all that shit too. And the, oh, we'll tell you, oh, vaccinate the babies. Oh, they're all just satanic whack jobs. They're actually, they think that they're smart and they're so hesitant. Oh, we know what we're doing. Yeah, do it like this. This must be done. And none of it needs to be done. They're serial killers. They're fucking lunatics. And they're sickos. You know, they're fucking retards. They can't sit there and admit, hey, I don't know everything. Maybe I should fucking learn something and open up and slow my rolls. They don't do that. The Spirit of God doesn't tarry. You know, God doesn't force shit on people. You know, it's actually them who tries to force shit on people. And they like to pretend to be Jews and Christians, and that's why the Catholics and the Jews have such a bad name, and some of the Christians do now too. A lot of people want to stay away from religion and churches, and they turn away from God, sadly, because they think, oh, da-da-da-da-da, but God is love. You know, it says that in the Bible too. God is love. And, you know, whatever. But Epstein and all that, yeah. There's something up with these cannibals and shit. Another thing, look at Frazzle Drip. Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin with her Wahhabi family terrorists, you know, known to what? Her mother was writing books for the Wahhabi terrorist faction that does female genital mutilation. There's no reason to cut a girl's clitoris up. No, again, they think that they're so smart and medical and clinical and, oh, yeah, we know what we're doing. Oh, we're headstrong. Oh, we know. We're professionals. We'll tell you. Oh, I'm Bill Gates. Vaccinated all the babies. You know, they want to tell you what to do. Look what they did with this COVID fucking bullshit, you know? Yeah, and they're all just a bunch of whack jobs. All these poor animals, I feel so bad. But Jesus will turn them into victors out of being victims. But it's sad it had to go down that way because it doesn't really have to go down that way. I want to kill all these fucking idiots because they're fucking terrorists, you know? And the things they've been doing to these animals, none of this shit makes sense. And then they were doing shit to people too, you know? Look at what Parso versus Google et al. You get the gist of it. Obama, China, concentration camps, slavery, Neuralink, DeepMind AI, Google, a lot of big companies, some individuals, China, the whole government of China, concentration camps, slavery, rape, and murder unlimited is actually mentioned on the court filing. So, what's that about? Oh, is that all? Unlimited rapes and murders? Oh, just concentration camps? Everyone's all like, oh, Nazis, World War II. It's like, what a China? You know, it does suck, but like, look, people have still been doing it. They were just trying to do it quietly, and they're obviously in league with all their sciences. You know, that's why NIH, WHO, CDC, even that IEEE thing out near Lahaina in Hawaii. Again, whack jobs that want to make smart cities because they're a bunch of whack jobs. And all they do is dumb torture, noise. Look at all their tastes and everything. It sucks. Listen to the music they make. Look at the movies. Look at their comedy. A bunch of pedophiles singing and dancing around. A bunch of pimps that fuck little kids. You know, P. Diddy's not going to do it for me. You know what I mean? These people aren't selling their little gimmicks to me, you know, but they try to get people to fall for this shit with like weird little shit and like ghetto song and dance brainwashing crap. Their little, oh, get J-Lo to dress up, then bring Britney Spears into it. She was used, you know. I feel bad for her, you know, just like Paris Hilton, but I don't feel bad for them because they're gonna, you know, like Jesus makes people into, like I said, victors, not victims. You know. But if you want to look up another thing, check out Kendall, Kendall. There's a place in Florida called Kendall, actually. But Kendall was a slave of Epstein's that she didn't live in a cage. And instead of being raped in a cage 40 times a day, or murder fucked on Epstein Island for adrenochrome, she was a house slave that they took to parties and black bagged her face and took her all kinds of places, and she got raped there. So she was on a Dr. Phil, and check out the Dr. Phil episode with Kendall. I think witness, real person involved, oral verbal testimony, you know, it's valid in any real court. It's a real testimony. She was actually there. She was actually his slave. So I would check out what she said. She said some things too, and she did mention little children, not just teenage girls. This teenage girls thing is like a little like side story, like you were talking about. They'll be like, oh, we were just doing this, because what they were really doing is even worse. Yeah, then that's the truth. I think that's really what was going on. I saw some footage also back in like 2017 or 2018, probably 2017 maybe. Well, I was looking into this, and I was YouTubing it as much as I could at first. And I did see what looked like some of his security footage. He had some basements and stuff, sub-basements, like security footage. And it was black and white, but one of these shots I saw, it did look like people gathered around a body like they were cannibalizing a person. That's just what it looked like. It wasn't the best shot. It was a security cam footage. It wasn't super zoomed in. It wasn't super close. It wasn't super detailed, but it was enough that you could say that looks like people are gathered around a corpse eating a person. And that was somehow some of his own security footage leaked out. How did Kendall get off that island? She had some little sign and didn't say anything and said, save me, or I need to, somehow that got to Dr. Phil, and she got, who knows what happened, but the Lord knows, All right. That's my reaction video to you. Merry Christmas.